each trip, I unpack something new, or I unlearn something that I should have unlearned a while ago. It blocks out the noise from what other people will say, what parents have to say, what your friends, or any judgment. It truly gives you space to figure it out on your own, and nobody knows who you are, and you can truly just show up as whatever version you want. It's taught me a lot about confidence, decision making. At the end of the day, it's just you. Like when you're out there solo, nobody else is making those decisions. So you really learn to trust your instincts. I think that's been the biggest blessing.
Hello, love.
Hi.
Oh my goodness. I've been waiting for this episode for a long time. So take us back to this transition because I feel like I can resonate to a lot of your story.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one clip where I saw that kind of went viral, and it was like, you're 30, but you're not married. The aunties are making fun of you at all the parties. And they're saying, okay, she's like traveling so much by herself. What is she doing with her life? One of those clips went very, very viral. So take us through that time and, the transition of how you're here today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still in that time, so I still get all of those same things. But yeah, it has literally been such a roller coaster. I have started off by doing what was expected of me, following the path. So, like you mentioned, pharmacist. I think you can relate. You also had a similar medical journey. So I, became a pharmacist, and obviously,
shout out to all the South Asians who did doctor, dentist, lawyer, engineer, pharmacy. All of it for 4 years.
Yeah, you got to be a STEM kid. So that was kind of, I felt a little bit trapped. And I think I was looking for something new, something different outside of my comfort zone, something nobody had done. And that was when I took my first solo trip to Spain to be an au pair. And once I got a whiff of that, I literally just caught the travel bug and have not stopped. And have found ways to integrate it into my life no matter what stage I was in.
I love that you went to Spain as an au pair.
Yeah.
Was it just kind of like on a whim? Did you know other au pairs that did that?
Yes. So my best friend, who my parents did really like in high school, she was super smart, great at school. She was an au pair, but she took a gap year. And so that was too extreme for me. So I went to go visit her, and then I became an au pair just for the summer because I had to come back to go to pharmacy school. And the reason I chose Spain was because I was going to use it as leverage that if I go to Spain, I could practice my Spanish, which is a great resume booster. You know how you have to take a language in high school?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll work on that. And it's technically a job. So it's still making good use of my summer. And it's a resume booster because you need to give parents a reason other than,
of course,
because you just want to.
Oh, I know. I totally relate. Totally relate. I remember the time where I was so pleading with my aunt after my father had passed away and we had gone through a bunch of losses, and I was in college and I had to plead with her, my bua, who's my bonus mom, and my Lola, my mom's mom. And I'm like, I'm going to go to this study abroad program. And it was in Italy. And I'm like, and I got all of the scholarships. I did whatever needs to be done. I got all the straight A's, and I need to be there. And it was like, no.
Yeah.
So I totally relate. But so you caught the travel bug, and what do you think is that missing link between, South Asians? I know your focus is on South Asian women and men, but what do you think that missing link is? Why do a lot of people not travel, or they find it very scary or hard? And obviously, the obvious reason is the parents won't allow them to.
Right.
And how do you navigate that for them?
Yeah, so I think it's a couple of different reasons that lead to that. I think obviously we're a lot of us are taught that we need to get a job, get good grades, focus, have a family, buy a house. So it doesn't really leave room for doing something for fun and spending money on that. My parents always said, you'll travel when you retire, when you have time off. And I'm like, well, what if I don't make it that long? Or what if I can't enjoy travel? I don't feel well enough. So I think it's more so always being focused on a career and productivity and not really on enjoyment and doing things for the sake of it. The other aspect that I hear a lot is the safety. which is why I've built what I've built, like the community aspect. A lot of people say, like, oh, like, is it safe for a brown woman to go? Or like, I'm Muslim, I wear a hijab. Like, would I mean, sometimes I feel unsafe in my own house. So, like, if I go to a country where I don't speak the same language, they might not be exposed or they might see me as like exotic or different. Would that make me feel uncomfortable or unsafe and like ruin my experience? And then I do think the solo aspect, like sometimes it's really hard to get your friends to get together. Like I feel like everyone's so busy in their own life that even planning just to hang out with your friend, you have to put on their calendar like a few
Mhm.
months in advance. So add in lining up the same PTO, and then you're factoring in if your friends have kids or a partner, like getting your schedule together is really hard to go with friends. And then some people are willing or have never thought about going alone. Like, what would they do alone? Like, it sounds scary.
Like they can't even be by
Yeah,
themselves.
exactly. Like, they can't even go out to eat in their own hometown, more or less go abroad. Like, it's something they haven't thought about, or it's not really always baked into our culture. I feel like our culture is very much about being together.
Community oriented
Yeah,
and very much collective as a
especially if
society.
you're a woman. Like, you don't, I mean, if we're talking about like previous generations, my mom wasn't even allowed to leave the house sometimes if she wasn't with someone else or like married. Like, she had to wait till marriage to go live her
Hmm.
life.
Hmm.
So I think a lot of that subconsciously also probably plays a role like, oh, that's weird to go out alone. Like, what if people look at me like, why is she alone? Type of thing.
Did you ever feel that way? In which countries did you feel that way when you were traveling solo?
Oh, I feel it a lot in a lot of countries, to be honest. Like, definitely a lot of Muslim, like brown countries, because again, for the same reason, there aren't people that are from there doing it. So they know that I'm might be one of them, but I'm definitely did not grow up there. But I think if you go to like a fancy restaurant or a romantic restaurant where everyone's on a date and you're by yourself, yeah, like people are like, what's she doing? But like, I don't care.
Who's she waiting for?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, no one.
I remember when I was traveling through Malaysia, love Malaysia, and I was in Langkawi, and Langkawi is like the honeymoon
Yeah.
destination. I didn't know that. I was at some I don't know I don't remember the hotel, but it was a fancy hotel, and I was by myself. And I remember checking into the hotel, and they were like, "Oh, okay, is your husband,
Hmm.
brother, is anybody with you?" Like they wanted to know everything about me. And I don't know about you, but I felt like because they see themselves as you, or they see you like them, because you kind of like, I kind of look like I'm Malaysian.
Yeah.
And so, but then I would see all of these honeymooner couples just together. And, I feel like the people working at the hotel were like, why is this girl by herself, lounging by the pool by herself, at
Yeah.
the beach by herself? And it just like didn't register.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. Actually, like hotels and resorts, like luxury resorts, that has been like my newest favorite thing to do alone.
Mm.
I just go, I bring my laptop, I work online, and everyone's like, "Oh, so are you waiting for someone else? Like, is a mister joining you?" I'm like, "No, it's just me. Like, you can remove the other table setting. Like, no one's coming."
So if somebody's listening to this and they're getting inspired and they're like, okay, I got the travel bug. Where do you think, what's like the first countries that they should go travel by themselves if they've never traveled?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it really depends. Like, if you really want to throw yourself out there and go completely out of your comfort zone, like go somewhere where like it is very different from where you grew up. But I
Like
think,
I wouldn't say India. I would say
okay,
like
yeah,
India would be like if you've traveled to like maybe 50
yeah,
countries, and then like make that 51, or that
yeah.
to Pakistan. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, fair. I would definitely say start off like even at your own hometown, like start doing things alone and getting used to it, or like go on a road trip somewhere where like you speak the same language and language barrier won't be so difficult
Hmm.
for you. Um, I think some sort of familiarity, like if it's the same, like restaurants or like, for example, I don't know, like for me, I even think about like it's so much easier when like, your cell phone's gonna work. Like you don't need to go buy a new SIM card. Like if something happens, you can use your phone, you can go to a hospital, like your insurance works, like you know what to do in that setting, like you know who to call if something happens. But I definitely would say somewhere where it feels like you have some sort of familiarity and
Hmm.
things that you're used to. But anywhere in the US, if you're American or like Europe is very like similar, like Western
Yeah,
culture, I would
Europe is
say.
safe. What's your favorite? Do you have like a top two or three favorite?
Mm, gosh, I mean, I like the UK, I like Spain. They speak a decent amount of English there, but it is Spanish speaking, obviously. So the language barrier is different, but it's so well traveled that there are so many tourists.
Hmm.
Like everyone goes to like a European summer, like all of the Americans. So
Hmm.
they cater to people and they speak English. So I think that's a good place to get your feet wet. But the real fun is when you really throw yourself out into like the deep end.
And I mean, because you've been everywhere. Like recently, you just had the Dose of Travel Club. You guys
Yeah,
went to
Ghana.
Ghana. So take me through what inspired the Dose of Travel Club, and what is it? Who is it for?
Yeah, it actually all started by mistake. So in 2022, I quit my job because I had had it up to here in like healthcare. I was like ready for a change, and I just wanted to travel for a year. That was like my dream. 1 year, like where I wouldn't have to come back for school or for a job or for whatever. And so I started documenting it on social media. And eventually I noticed a trend that it was people who looked like me asked me like, "Oh, how did you do that?" Like my parents would never, or like, "How is it like safety wise?" And so then I kind of hopped on a trend and I was like, where are the other, like, you're right, like, where are the other South Asian people who look like me traveling? And eventually people just started chiming in and I was like, okay, I'm going to plan a group trip because it seems like people want to do this, but like there's a reason holding them back. So I planned a trip to Bali and it sold out. And that's kind of when it all started.
Oh my gosh, Bali.
Yeah, Bali.
That's a fun place
Yeah,
to
I think
go.
so. Yeah, it makes sense. Eat, pray, love is like what inspired me to go there when I quit my job.
Totally.
And then it kind of changed everything.
Wow. Okay. And so your very first trip, how many people went? And
20.
you had 20 people on your very first trip.
Yeah.
Wow. And had you ever thought in your wildest dreams that you would be connecting strangers from across the globe?
No, and I definitely didn't think the strangers would book on a trip. I was just a girl on the internet, like said, come to Bali with me. Like, that's crazy. Like to trust someone on the internet. I didn't have any reviews. I'm obviously not a full-on company at that point. I didn't even have that many followers. So I think they're just as crazy as I am to come with me.
And then now you've had what, 40 trips in just this last year alone,
Yes.
with over 400 people in this last year.
Yeah.
What have you learned by taking and by growing and expanding the Dose of Travel Club? What have you learned and seen in what people are craving?
Yeah. I think a lot of it is we're so connected online. It makes it seem like we really are like very social, but I think there's a component of being in person that has been missing. So I think it's actually a mix of a couple of things, which is why it works. People are looking for novel experiences to break the day to day. Like they've been in a routine, they have their friends, they know they do the same thing, they want something new. I think they are also looking for in person connection. And a lot of them come in the same age range as me, like late 20s, 30s. So, people are in different stages of their life, like either getting married, moving away. It's really hard to make friends in like adulthood. And I think we're just suffering from like a lot of loneliness, a lot of like I don't know, social media fatigue and like that kind of thing. And so people come for connection, like finding like minded people for a new experience.
Any breakups or divorces in your group?
Yeah, yeah,
For single
definitely.
people?
A lot of single people, but a lot of people in different stages of their life, whether they share that or not. But people usually come, there's one reason pushing them at least. Or some people are
Mhm.
just here for a good time and they're like, okay, I really wanted to go to Morocco and you just gave me a reason to. I don't have to plan anything. I just show up, which there's also a lot of convenience in that. Like, why waste time planning for your vacation? You just want to show up and like literally let loose and not have to think about anything.
Yeah, there's that study, that Pew Research study that um, shows that nearly half of Americans say that they only have a few people that they can say that really know them deeply.
Yeah.
And so it's like novel experiences like what you're creating, a bonded shared experience for over a few days or a week that really bring people together to perhaps give them those lifelong friendships.
Right.
Would you say that that's been happening?
Yeah. I'm actually really surprised. I love seeing how people come on day one because they're coming solo. And although they're meeting up with people, it's the idea of coming alone and not knowing if you're going to get along with anyone, like you're going to a new country. It's a lot of new things, especially if you're spending a week with people and you might even be rooming with someone you don't know.
So your trips are 1 week long?
Yes,
Okay.
generally 1 week, sometimes even like 10 days. So, and getting longer, honestly.
Okay, and are they and how is it structured? Do you randomly select people to stay together? In many ways, it's like a retreat.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a retreat or any other like trip. So people usually, obviously, same gender in the same room, like around the same age is usually how we pair it. Um, but usually it's to kind of break the ice. So you have one person that you're actually going to get to know really well, and then obviously the onus is on you to like, get to know the rest of the group. But people do really connect and they hang out, and it's so beautiful to see. Like if they meet on a trip, and my trips are actually a very international audience, so it's not just people from the US. People will get together after the trip and meet up in a different destination or like go hang out for birthdays or, like planned, yeah, different vacations. So they stay friends and it's so nice because I get the updates and they send me like a cute little selfie. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are in like Thailand. That's so
Mhm.
awesome.
It's amazing. Uh, and what are some of the big surprises that you've witnessed?
I think just how well people get along, even though some people like, I've never done anything like this before. They come and they ease into it. And almost everyone, like, I usually hire a guide to take us through, or like we'll meet people and they're like, this is like a crazy friend group. Like, how do you guys stay together? And like, we literally just met like 5 days ago. Like, people think that they've known each other forever. Like, we feel like a group of friends who've been friends for like years.
Mm.
So I love that strangers can like come together, open up, be vulnerable, and do something new, even though they said it was something they would never do. And it's like now they can't go back. Like, they want to do it again.
And what are some of the trips that you are now going to keep as a staple? Like,
Mm,
tell us a little bit about this year. Are you doing anything different? What can we expect from the Dose of Travel Club? And
yeah.
what are some of the other projects that you have going on?
So I feel like this is a big transition slash like growth year because we've now doing a lot more trips and kind of figuring out which ones we want to run again, which ones are doing well. I think Morocco and Japan were like hits last year, so we're doing more of them because we were just doing one of each and like we can only take like 20, 30 people. And we've grown so much that we'll just run multiple dates of the same trip. So Morocco and Japan are here to stay. And I recently launched singles trips, which is really
Woo
exciting.
woo! All right.
So that
We're
is
going to do some
new.
matchmaking.
Yeah.
Sima auntie, let's go.
Yeah, she has some competition. So we have two Mexico City trips. Those are actually only 3-day trips. We got to test it out to see if we can make it to the 7-day mark.
Okay.
But
Oh, that's a good one.
yeah, so that's happening. Bali's been a staple. Obviously, it's how I started. So we have to do the original one. And then working on Kenya, possibly,
Hmm.
Turkey. Like, I want to do the safari, Turkey, Egypt would be really cool. And then Iceland.
Oh, Iceland. Oh, so fun. So, for somebody that is hesitant to travel solo, what can they expect from coming to one of your trips?
Well, I would say that everyone feels the same way. So everyone is kind of going into it a little bit like nervous, not knowing what to expect. So you wouldn't be the oddball, and everyone is coming in to kind of make friends and do that. So I feel like it's a very warm, welcoming, safe environment. And then usually when I'm on the trip, there's one person that you already kind of know because you know me online. So I think that really helps. But I would say that all of the trips have been so beautiful where like, there's no drama. Everyone is there with good intentions and there for the same reasons. And that kind of really breaks the ice and makes it super welcoming. And we set up like group chats, video calls beforehand. So you already get to know everyone beforehand. So you know, like if you see them at the airport, like they're one of us. And so that really helps make it a very warm and welcoming like
Mm,
community. So I would say, yeah, just do it because everyone usually has not traveled like that before. It's their
mm.
first time. And so being around people who's also doing it for the first time helps it so much more.
And um, a little bit about what are you now kind of braving in this stage and era?
Mm. That's a good question. There's a lot, I think. I think this is a big year for me. I think I'm really like learning to lean into and like accept that this is like something I have built and now I am going to like this is what I do. Like I've obviously had so many different career like avenues and whatnot. And this is something that I'm so passionate about that I've honestly forgotten that it's also like now what I do for work.
Hmm.
And so I'm just really leaning into that and making sure that I am keeping everything the way that I want and leaning into the aspect of um doing it because like I love it. And that's what made me like start everything. And then leaning into the like discomfort almost
Hmm.
because it's so new to me. Like I'm sharing my passion with so many other people that I don't know. And now we're growing and so much is changing so quickly.
How has traveling, and exploring these new countries, what lessons have you learned about yourself and your spirituality or your growth as a whole?
A lot. I think that's why I love it so much. I keep doing it because each trip I unpack something new, or I unlearn something that I should have unlearned a while ago. I love that it gives me time and it blocks out the noise from what other people will say, what parents have to say, what your friends or any judgment. It truly gives you space to figure it out on your own, and nobody knows who you are, and you can truly just show up as whatever version you want. But it's taught me a lot about confidence, um, decision making. Like you're at the end of the day, it's just you. Like when you're out there solo, nobody else is making those decisions. So you really learn to trust your instincts. I think been the biggest blessing.
Hmm. It's amazing. For someone who's just kind of starting out, maybe they're navigating professional school, dental school, medical school, pharmacy school, engineering school, perhaps maybe a younger version of
Hmm.
yourself. What advice would you give to that person?
I feel like I would say don't take things too seriously. I was so serious. Like when I was so young, I could not see the future and I thought it was so black and white and I didn't leave room for the gray area. Like I did not, obviously, I didn't think I would end up here,
Hmm.
but I took life so seriously that I feel like I missed out on seeing what was in front of me because I was always looking for what was ahead. But when I was looking ahead, it didn't look this good. And I would just really enjoy that chapter because it will end. And at some point, I sometimes miss pharmacy school. That's when I traveled the most because I didn't have to work. So I think just
Mm.
really enjoy the chapter you're in. It might suck, but there's also so much beauty in it.
Amazing. And for those trips for singles,
Mm.
what are you looking to matchmake on those trips? Like what can somebody expect if they are single or they're newly divorced or they're newly, open in their life? What is something that they can expect from coming on the trip? Will they find love?
Yeah, listen, I'm not calling myself a full on matchmaker yet, but I think I would say that this is a space that you are coming in and saying you're single and meaning that you're open to finding someone. And I think that would allow for people to like explore potential opportunities. I don't know what's going to come out of it, but I think if you're looking to find someone that has the same genuine interest as you, like the commonality for sure is like you love travel. And if you're looking for someone within the same ethnicity, you're likely going to get that because it's mostly South Asians. Um, so generally, I've noticed on the trips that aren't single trips, people have so much in common already, which is why I've noticed they're single usually, but they get along so well. So if I framed it as singles, like it might be something that you would consider exploring, not just for personal also.
Hmm.
So I think if anything, you will make amazing friends and you'll have a really good vacation. I don't know if you'll find your partner, but
Okay, so you're not putting that in the disclaimer.
yeah, no guaranteed.
Okay.
Like, please don't come for me if you don't find your partner on that trip. But I think you'll find some good friends and maybe they'll connect you to someone you never know.
Yeah, I think you never know. And I feel like when you just say yes to the possibilities, I feel like there's, so much more that can happen when you're open. And, like you were just sharing the amount of people that come from different parts of the world. Then you
Hmm.
have your new bestie that's in different parts of the
Yeah.
world that you can go visit. So I think that's so cool. For those who want to integrate travel into their lives, how can they do that even if they're like a student or they're on like a limited budget or, maybe they're like a new mom or something like that?
I would say that I'm the queen of budget travel because that is how I started, which is why
Mhm.
when I
No
went to
way.
Spain, yes, I was a pharmacy student. Like I couldn't afford anything. I definitely can get scrappy, and there are different ways to travel. Travel does not have to be expensive. It really just depends. My start was backpacking. Like I literally lugged a backpack around and stayed at hostels. I camped. I've done everything.
So you stayed at hostel. Did you do one of those? I know they have the couch surfing.
Oh, I've done that too. Yeah.
Okay.
I've done everything. I have every story probably under the book. The 7 years of travel was like pure budget, or I would even find jobs abroad. I think it depends on if you're limited on time, you can get really strategic with time with like a job. I have in my guide, like even a calendar, how you stack your days where you can get up to like 50 days of like time off and with your 2 weeks of PTO.
Oh, no
So
way.
if you stack with like the holidays and actually are very intentional and like plan ahead, which is like my downfall because I don't plan for my trips, I'm very spontaneous. So it is definitely possible, and you could take 50 days of vacation and not over abuse like your PTO. And then if you're limited on money, I think obviously compromise. Like you have to cut from somewhere if you can't get more money. So I'm always a big fan of like, cutting out my going out on weekends so I can
Mhm.
have a vacation because that's something I really want. But choosing your destination strategically. Sometimes I will go during off season to a place because it won't be so busy, the hotels won't be so expensive, or I will choose destinations where my currency that I earn in is a little bit stronger. It would help me in that favor. So generally, since I go like Asia, is
Mhm.
generally you can get a better, like, yeah, luxury, I think, at a lower price
Mhm.
if you are from the States. So I think thinking about that um, and just coming up with like a hard budget, really, just the same way that you do if you want to buy a new house or a new car, like you have to budget.
Or a new handbag or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you would
exactly.
just budget.
Exactly.
Is it possible to go somewhere across the world for 3 days?
Across the world if you want. My jet lag could never. But I know people who do that. Like I think Iceland has been a really popular spot if you're from like the East Coast.
Okay.
You go for like 3 days because it's not actually that far. It's like 6 hours.
Yeah,
The same as going to California. So you go to a whole new country.
that's so true. That's so true. I'm learning so much about you, and it's igniting my travel bug because I feel like travel really for me has um, it's ignited different parts of my brain that were dormant. And I think,
Mm,
in neuroscience, if we look at it, when we activate, different neural pathways, we start to make new memories and we
hmm.
start to unlearn different aspects of ourselves and actually create more dopamine for the things that we want to go after. So there's definitely that, science of rewiring our brains there as to why people should probably travel more. And also, we're solving the loneliness epidemic. So I'm so glad that you're doing that. Now, I know your time is short and we are in our spill the chai
Ooh,
round. So I'm going to ask you these rapid fire questions in our the chai section. So backpack or suitcase?
suitcase now.
Oh, we got a suitcase. Okay. Solo trip or group adventure?
Oh, that's not fair. um, I would say group because I've done enough solos.
Favorite travel destination?
Lebanon.
The most adventurous thing you've eaten while traveling?
Oh. Mm.
Japan, you've got some stories probably.
No, what did I eat in Thailand that I really didn't want to? Oh my God. I went on a group trip to Thailand and they made me eat something. And I think I literally blocked it out of my memory. It was some insect.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Hostel hangouts, couch surfing, or a luxury resort?
Honestly, I love a good couch surfing story.
Oh my gosh. I've got
For the
I've got some
plot. For
too.
the plot.
I've got some too. Uh, pharmacist or content creator, or what has been more challenging?
Content creator.
Favorite aspect of leading Dose of Travel Club?
Getting to meet the incredible people and spending a week with them.
And your ultimate travel hack?
Mm. Using your travel credit card for points and not paying for flights.
Oh, yes. Oh my
Like,
gosh.
never doing that again.
Okay, where can we get more a hold of all of you and the Dose of Travel Club and your Dose of Travel?
So much. You can find us on our website, www.doseoftravel.co. And then obviously on social media is the best. On Instagram, it's Dose of Travel for me or Dose of Travel Club for the group trips.
Awesome. And one word that describes this season of life.
Ooh, this season of life. That's hard. Growth.
Mm, Love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for pouring in your super fun wisdom with our community today.
Well, thank you for having me. This was so fun.
So fun. Oh my gosh. Isn't she like a ball of amazing energy? I love Dr. Nabila. You can follow her at A Dose of Travel on Instagram or A Dose of Travel Club. And if you love this episode, if you think a bestie could use this episode about travel, about solo traveling, go ahead and share this episode with them. If you are new and this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining. It means so much. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It helps us grow the show more than you know. Thank you so much for tuning in week after week. Until next time on The Brave Table. You know I've got so much more in store for you. So if you are really ready to dive in and keep owning your emotions like the boss that you are, click right here. Go ahead, don't be shy. I'll see you in the next one. Keep shining.